Alright guys, am I back or not? Okay. Alright guys, so a little bit ago, sorry about the, give me just a moment. A little bit ago, alright, let me see if that, still have a lot of drop frames going on. That's irrelevant at the moment. I am, okay, so that's what I was going to check. East Coast, what's going on, Clay? Alright, so a little bit ago, I was on a live video. I was in the middle of a roll, and I was getting these messages, and my video might not be doing that great because my stream still shows very unstable. I'm dropping frames like crazy. So I don't know what's the deal with this. I can say my wife was in there fooling around with cleaning the house today, and she messed up. She moved the router, and when I got there this evening, she had messed up. She said the internet wasn't working that great. Well, it still might or might not be working that great because I'm dropping frames big time. So regardless, I'm going to try to get this back working. It might end up having to be tomorrow when I go and reset the router. But anyway, let's go back to this. Alright, so whenever I was getting these phone calls and they were saying call me 911, my wife sent my daughter out here to come and make a phone call, and it ended up being that so I thought I was on live here. What happened? Am I not on live? Am I not? Am I live? I mean, no Clay said what's up, but I don't know if my videos is dropping so many frames that it's not going to stay going. I think I'm okay, but I know it's dropping frames. But okay. Anyway, I had to get off of I had to exit. Yeah, it's dropping like crazy. I don't understand this. It is really frustrating to be paying for I just don't understand what's happening right there. Why did Clay's message come through? Why did that come through again? Am I on a second video? Did it stop and start? I'm not understanding, but let me put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in there and see if that comes through. So it is live. Okay, so I am live. Maybe I'm getting a pretty good connection. All right, anyway, I was getting phone calls and text messages, and my wife sent my daughter out here to tell me it was ASAP. I had to make some phone calls, so I had to get off here. Turns out to be that everything's fine. There's no emergency. Everything's resolved. We're good to go. But I was in the middle of rolling. I had just hit the tall with the $10 on it, and I was still rolling. So I said I was just going to pause. I was just going to end that video right there, and then on that video I'll put to be continued. So I'm coming back to continue that video. It's actually, I can't continue that video, but I'm starting a new one, and it's going to be part 2 of what I started earlier. It's just going to be the continuance because I was in the middle of a roll. And that particular roll that I was on was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'd already rolled 16 times. I am on roll number 17 right now for that shooter. And I just hit the tall, and I had collected, and I'm on roll number 17. Ace, what's going on? Long time, my friend. Where you been hanging out? So, so far I've rolled 34 rolls. The last roll, as I said, it's in the prior video, and I'm going to name, the last video says Chili live stream to be continued is the title, but it's processing right now, so it's probably not even available. This, I was stopped dead in the middle of that particular video because I got some phone calls that they said ASAP 911, you need to answer, blah blah blah. So I had to get off of here and I had to stop dead middle. So I had shot 16 rows. I had shot 34 rows total, but on that particular shooter I was 16 rows deep. I just hit the tall, and it's just a continuance. So I didn't change any bets. I didn't change any money. I'm just going to continue from where that one left off. The last row that was hit was a 4-4 hardway 8. It was a primary hit. It made, actually the row before that was a 10. That made the tall, and then I rolled one more. Yep, I'm finna start back right now because I've rolled 34 times. This particular shooter right here is needing a 2 and a 5 to complete the all tall small. I've already hit the tall, and I'm roll number 17 for this shooter. So here we go. 3, 2, 3, 6. We're looking for a 2 and a 5 to complete the small because we've already hit the tall. So here we go. Dice her out. All right, 5-1-6. This is an on-axis primary hit, 5-1-6. All right, so we got $12 on it. So we're playing a press and collect method, but since we've done hit the tall, we've already kind of collected some money. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the $4 this time. We drop the dealer 4. That goes with the 14 that we just won. That pushes this all the way up, and we're having to push our 6 all the way up. Press it all the way up. So we've got 12 on it, we drop him 4, and he pays us 14, and what's that equal? $30. That's a $30. That presses it off. So $4 presses the 6 all the way up to 30. So we got a $30 6. We're playing a press and collect type method. That was an on-axis primary hit by way of 6, and we're looking for a 5 and a 2 to complete the all tall small. But we're doing a press and collect method on our bets. Next row, if we get another hit, will be a collect. Dice her out. All right, 2-2 hard 4. So our point's made. Our point is made. I've got a jacket on. I've got to pull off because it's getting me hung up. I can't shoot with it on. All right, here we go. 4-4 is made. 2-2 hardway 4 points made. We don't have any. We have our money right here. So it pays 20 right there, and 10 on the front. So there we go. This was a collect roll. So there's $50 in reds. I'm just going to go ahead and cash them in because I'm getting too many reds in the rack. Alright, I'm not working to come out, but I'm going to go ahead and get the $10 on the 4. But I'm not working to come out. That was a collect roll. So we got a new point coming out. 3, 2, 3, 6 on the set. Nice route. 6, 4, 10. So we're on a 10 now. This would be a third unique point if we were playing a fire bet. We hit a 6, we hit a 4, and now we have a new point. It's a 10. So if we were playing, you up 170 already? That's awesome, my friend. But you've been high now. I'm gonna put the 30 in odds. I marked the 10 in the tracker, and I'm looking for a 2 and a 5 to complete the all tall small. I've already hit the tall, so I need a 2. I need a 5. I'm staying with the 3V set for now. 3, 5, 8. 3, 5, 8. We got 30 on it, so it pays 35. This is a press. This is a press. The last row was a collect. So this time we're going to press that 8 straight up to 60. We'll go ahead and put that nickel on there. just to get it up a little bit higher, because it's only on 20 right now. And we're going to put the 8 in. Time to color up. Another 100. Time to color up. I hear you. No, nothing wrong with that. What's what you say? Get in, get up, get out. Do it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Get out of their way, huh? Nice route. I should have colored up, as you said, Ace. 167. Left dice imploded. 167. So there we go. We knocked this down. We knocked everything off with the 7. We lost what we had out here. We did make a tall. So we were able to get back some of our earlier misfortunes. Because earlier in the game, we had 2 times that we knocked our 220 off. Alright, so here we go. Let's see about where we stand. We're probably about even. We might be up just a little bit. We need 25 in green. We need a $25 chip on green to we need 1 green, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need $50 to have our full racks of red and green, which makes $7. So $50 out of this would give us $50 left over. That would give us our 1,000. So we're at about $52 profit right now. We're at $52 profit at the very moment after 39 rows. We got an SOR of 9.8. We're going to go ahead and do one more roller for a $25 ATS, a $10 front line. We're not going to put any money up on the pass line, on the place bets for the come out. And we're just going to start out with the 3-2, 3-6. We're going to see if we can't get back in rhythm. We was in good rhythm whenever we had to end the first video, and now we haven't found. That wasn't a terrible finish because that roller had 3 or 4 more shots. All right, we got a 1-3-4. Left dice imploding. 1-3. We're back on the 4. This is a new shooter. 1-3-4. All right, new shooter. We're gonna go ahead and go with our 220 inside again. We're looking for a 1 hit. We're looking for a 1 hit. We want our money up for 1 hit. That's all the risk we want to take on this shooter at the moment. We don't want to have to go into 3 and 4 shots. We want to be able to get 1 hit. Two, 4, 6. So we have a on axis single pitch. We got our 1 hit. All right, this is what we do. That wins 70. So we want to take our whole 220 and rack that. Our money is not at risk. We wanted to put our money at risk for 1 hit. We want to take this $70 and we're going to spread across the board. So these 2 quarters, we're going to change them out from our own money. So we got the whole $70 here. We're just going to change that out in our own money. That way we can go 64 across. We can go 64 across. We got to get some 1s for this red. We go 64 across, and we're able to have $6 more profit. So we're just going to put that whole 16 profit on the 4. Now, my stream is running terrible right now, so maybe or maybe not you can see me. I'm trying to look at my own YouTube page. Yep, so here we go. So we got a $6 profit. No, we got a 1 hit give us a $70 profit. We put our 220 back in, and we're taking the whole $70 and we're playing back into the board so that all the money that's on the board, except for the pass line and the ATS, is off of profit. It's off of the dealer's side. We want to try to capitalize on the dealer's money. Our money is not at risk because our 220 that we had up for the one hit is back in our rack. We're going to play a press and collect type system. And hopefully we can get an ATS in the way, or along the way. Two, 6, 8. This is an on-axis primary hit. Oops, I rolled that one right at the end. 2, 6, 8. So we hit the 8. It pays 14. We're going to collect the very first hit. We're going to collect the very first hit because we haven't made any profit. Now we have. All of our profit is on the board, but this $14 is straight profit. I mean, we can pull down at any point in time. Mark the 8. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 3, 6. We want to try to keep this going. Nice route. 3, 3, hard way 6. This is a primary hit. 3, 3, hard 6. This time we have to give the dealer $4 and tell him to press it all the way up. So the $4 takes it all the way up to 30. Takes it up to 30. We mark the hard 6 primary, and we just kind of keep an eye on our ATS. You know, we hope to be able to hit an ATS along the way. If my stream is choppy I'm sorry about that. I got to reset my router. It's showing unstable. I'm dropping frames like crazy, and it's got to be in my router. But let's see what happens. 3, 2, 3, 6 on the set. Nice route. 4, 2, 6. 4, 2, 6 on the dice, on the results. That's another 6. Now we just pressed that 6. This is a collect. All right, so that 30 pays 35. That's a collect. So we collect that one. And we're still rolling. We just want to keep an eye on our ATS. If we start getting close enough to move dice sets to where we only need extremes, we might change up on that. Right now we have not hit enough inside numbers to warrant changing dice sets. 6, 4, 10. 6, 4, 10. We got 10 on it. So it pays 18. So for $2, we tell the dealer to press us all the way up. So for $2, we turn 10 into 30. That's a press. We mark the 10. We mark the 10. Yep, you're right, Ace. That hard way. Now see, a lot of, before, when you were still here, I was doing them horn hops. I was doing that chili horn hop. Remember, that was the name you give it. But see, right now, I'm still using place bets because I don't know if my percentages are high enough to warrant placing, to doing hops today. So I'm just doing the simple collect and press method and pressing up my place bets, and I'm not using any hard ways. That's probably something that I ought to consider putting in on my strategy, because I am throwing a 3V set which should produce 4s and 10s, or 8s and 10, 6s and 8s. All right, I just hit a 10, and this is a secondary hit. So I just pressed that 10. You ain't at the table 10 minutes and you gone, huh? Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. I just hit the 10 after I pressed it. So it's gonna cost me $1. So I gotta pay the dealer $1. for the bid, because I got $30 on it, but he's going to give me 60, and this is a collect. This is a collect hit, so I collect this 60. All right, so here we go. We marked the 10. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We want to try to get the numbers on the ATS. There's another 100. Yep. If you don't get out of there, you just can color up. But see, Ace, this is what I'm doing. You seen I had 220 out there at risk for one hit. Once I took the one hit, $70, and I put my 220 back in my rack. That way I have no money at risk. I mean, the ATS money's at risk, but that's going to be at risk. I mean, you just have to play that out. But all the money that's growing on the board and it's steadily is paying me, and then I increase it. Then it's a collect and press method. So I'm steadily collecting and I'm pressing the board, and this is all coming from the dealer side. So I'm really not at risk no more. That's all that's what I'm showing here is, one hit with your money on the board, and then from then on, you're just using dealer's money. All right, we got a double pitch here, 5-6 yoke. You're using dealer's money to try to press your bets. I'm not using my money. My money's still over here in my bankroll. It's still back in my chip and back in my chips, and then that way, if when I 7 out, I still have another shot at this. So this is a 5-6 yoke. We need a 9 and a 12. I'm not going to change sets yet. I'm going to stay with this set for another roll or two, because the last hit was a collect, but I really need to get another hit on a press and then another hit on a collect. And if I can do that, there's a 3-2-5. So the right dice exploded, 3-2-5. It's 10 on it, so it's going to pay 14. So for $1, I'm going to drop the dealer $1, and I'm going to tell him to take me all the way up. So for $1, it takes my 5 up to 30. So the next hit, yeah, my stream looks terrible, I believe, because my YouTube, I'm trying to watch, I got it playing along on YouTube, and it keeps going completely new to about solid fuzzy on YouTube. Maybe it's not looking that way on you guys then. All right, so let's look at it. I need a 2, 3, a 9, and a 12. So I'm going to shoot for one more hit on this board, because the next hit would be a collect hit. And then, if I can get that, I will move dice sets and go into the other betting strategy and do the horns. Try to capture them horn numbers. 5-6 yo, so this is not a collect. This is still a yo. Mark the yo. Still looking for one more. I'm looking for one more hit. Hey, what's up, Arnell? Right now, I am just basically shooting. I did a 220 inside, and then I did a 220 inside for one hit, and then that was a $70 profit. So I regressed my 220 back to my rack, and I took the $70 profit, and I went all across, and then I'm doing a press and collect. So I'm down to needing a hit. I want one more hit, because the last hit was a press hit. I want to do a collect hit. If I can get one more hit, it'll be a collect. I'm doing a press and collect type betting strategy. So the next hit would be a collect. Let's do this. And if I can get one more, and I can't, I talked it out. Well, that was a 257. I talked it out of there. I talked myself out of getting one more hit. So I was trying to get one more hit, and if I could get one more hit, I was going to move over to the cross sixes and shoot for the extremes. So I didn't make it. I talked myself right into a 7 by talking about getting one more hit. But it's all good. All this money that was here come from the dealer side, because when I took the 220, one shot, I put my 220 back in the rack, and then I used the dealer money to press the dealer's money. And I was doing a press and collect type betting system, so I was collecting on every other row. Every other row I was pressing, every other row I was collecting. So I collected money, and see, I hit the 7. I need to put that 7 in. I gotta get that 7 in. Let me get that 7 in. Alright, I'm gonna get the 7 in. Let's see where that took us. Took our SOR down to 9.8. So let's get one. I said that was gonna be my last roller, but it's not. I'm gonna do one more roller. So I'm not gonna work to come out, but I'm gonna get the 220 up. So I got the 220 up, but off, and I'm doing a $25 ATS. So the inside is up and off. Yeah, we're always gonna do one more hit, and it turns out that way. But the thing, Arnell, is when I do the 220 right there, I'm gonna regress after one hit. I'm gonna take that whole 220 off the board and put back in my rack, and I gotta do a front line. I gotta do a pass line, and if I can do that, then I'm just using the house money from that point. So we're gonna try this again, but I'm not working to come out. I'm not working to come out. All right, 549. This is an on-axis single pitch. And Arnell, you kind of got in late, but I've got a video that's processing right now, because I come out from that video and it's going to say, the title of it's going to be Chili live stream to be continued. That video, it's still processing. It probably won't even come out till tomorrow. But the first probably 15 minutes of it, I went over all that we talked about a couple nights ago about single pitch, double pitch, on axis, primary hits, secondary hits. I went over all that. And then in the middle of the rolling, I was about 34 rows into it, and I started getting phone calls and text messages saying, call me, call me, call me, call me. So I had to stop the video in the middle of a roller. So that's why I wrote to be continued. This is the continued part of it. So when I started back here, I had just hit a tall, and I had to finish that last roller out. So that last roller rode 2 or 3 more times, and when you come in, I just now was finishing out another roller. So now I'm on a brand new roller, and we just hit a 9. So the new point's a 9, which is an on-axis hit. But yeah, it probably won't drop until tomorrow. But I tell you what, once it processes, I'll go in there and save the link. Actually, I'll probably go in there and get the link after I finish this one, and I'll just send it to you. I might put it on the chat, or I might just send it to you private, but it's not a private video. It's not like I'm trying to hide it from nobody. I'm just saying, in order for you to find it and to go over what we was talking about in the chat 2 nights ago about all that different stuff, I basically go in there and I show it. I roll the dice around and I show exactly what I'm meaning by single pitch, double pitch, and all that. All right, so here we go. We got a point of a 9. I'm going to take the 50 and put it in odds instead of on the pass line. Place bet. I'm shooting for one hit. I have the inside covered. I have no outside coverage. I've got 220 I've got 220 up at it exposed, so I'm trying to shoot for one hit. And we got 6-6. This is not great. It didn't take our money down. We punched another number in our tall, which is not a good number to hit with this die set, but worse than not worse than that is we have to leave our money up for another shot. Another shot. We have to leave our money up at risk because we were off axis. On axis. Okay, now here's our on axis hit, but this is a double pitch, 2-1-3. So this is, again, we have nothing working on the 3, so this is just another shot that we have to leave our money. This is an on axis hit. The 2-1-3 is an on axis, but it's a double pitch, so we have no coverage on the 3. We have no, so basically we are starting to put ourselves into a bad ROI type scenario on this shooter because we're leaving our money up for too many shots and getting no return on the investment. See there? See what happens? That's why I try to shoot for the 1 hit. Now when I hit an off-axis 12, that really was what the difference is. So on short rows, and we know they come a lot, this is the kind of situation you get into when you can't get on axis. So what I did, and I'm going to put this back up. I'm going to put the 220 back up. I'm going to put the ATS back up, and I'm going to put the front line back up. So I got all my money back up, and I would be on a normal come out. The SRR is an indicator that I probably should not be working to come out, but I'm going to go ahead on this shot because I knocked my 220 off without ever hitting a hit at all. So I'm going to go ahead on this shot and I'm going to work my come out. 3-2, 3-6 on the come out. Dice are out. Dice bets are working. 5-5 hard 10. So the right dice imploded. I have nothing on the outside, so it didn't do me no good to be working. Well, I mean, that was a risk. So I hit a 5-5 hard 10. Right about now, Sleepy's pulling his bets down. Yeah, I left mine up too long. After I missed 2 rows, after I had that 12 and then a 3, I probably should have cut them off. But instead, I left it up for the 3rd time. So I left the roll up for a 3rd time, and it got me. That's why I like getting on the table, getting the 220 up, getting the 1 hit right here, like this, for instance. 5-3-8. This is an on-axis single pitch. See, here's a 1. This was actually 2 hits that we had exposure because we worked to come out and we hit a 10. So that's 70. There's the 70. So I got 220 that I'm going to rack back into my rack. And I'm going to use the $70 right here that I just made in profits to go all the way across. So what that does, that actually leaves me with a $6 profit because that's 64. This is what's left over of the 70, $6. So I'm just going to put that whole 16 on the 10. And I'm going to, so, you know, I'm going to do the press and collect type method again here, and I'm going to try to get to the, you know, try to get enough numbers to get the tall, small, either one of them, or both of them. But see here, now that the 257 came, I didn't lose no money because I had the $70 winner, so I used the 70 to put my money back up. So my 220 went back in my rack. So I did hit the, see, that's the very short rows. These are the very short rows. These are the ones that get the best of you real early. And I had some of them from the start. Actually had several come out 7s from the start. So all I'm doing now is driving my SOR completely down, which ATS back up for a quarter, front line, pass line back up. Let's do the 220 again for the 1 hit. Now, we're going to cut them back on for the come out. So we're going to cut them back on for the come out. Yep. The working on the come out sometimes works, sometimes don't. I'm going to try it this time. I'm going to try to come out. So dice her out. 5-6 yoke. This is an on-axis double pitch. We hit a yoke. That's a front line winner. It pays $10. All right, our bets were up and working. We're going to work them again. 3, 2, 3, 6. We're working them. That's right. 3, 6, 9. This is an on-axis single pitch. We hit a 9. So here's a good example. We did hit a yo on the come out, so that had to, so that was 2 rows that we had to have our bets up. But we take the 220 down. We rack that. So that's our exposure. It's off the table. We've got $70 right here to go all across. Again. So the 70. There's the 70 right there. So we can put this 10 right there. We're just going to not put the 16. We're just going to rack the $6 this time instead of putting it up. So our points are 9. We've got our profit. We've got a $6 profit at this point. So we're going to do a press and collect type method and try to hit an ATS. Try to press our bets, build the table, and hit an ATS. Alright, there's a 639. So this is an off axis. The left dice exploded, but we hit our point. So hey, it pays 10 on the front and it pays 15 on the back. So we're already in profit. We're already in profit because we're going to leave. Oh, I never put my $2 up. I never put all my 2s up on my caps. There's my caps on everything that I never put up a minute ago. They're supposed to be up. But this is a $25 profit. This is a press and collect method. So we're going to rack that 25. We can it's preference. You can work to come out or you can cut them off. I mean, we're on dealer's money. So when we do get the 7, we're on dealer's money. We just collected 25, so that basically pays for the pass line. Only thing that we need to collect about $15 more to pay for the ATS money, and then we are on total dealer's money. So let's just work the come outs. I mean, it's the 7 doesn't really care if you want to come out or not. It doesn't have any memory, I don't think. There's a 156. 156, we were working to come out, so we hit a 6, it pays 14. So for $1, it pays 14. We're going to drop the dealer. The last row was a collect. So we're going to drop the dealer $4, take the $1 back. We drop the dealer $4 and tell him to press our bet all the way up. So it's going to take our 6 all the way to 30. We're going to put it in odds. And here we go. We mark the 6. I know, Arnell, I feel you, my brother. That's, you know, I'm the same way. I'm not like a big bankroll where I can go do it. I'm just, you know, this is a strategy that I'm practicing on that I want to be able to do. I rarely can do a 220. I normally have to start out with something like 44 across from the start, 44 inside, and hopefully that I can get a couple of hits just to stay alive, just so I can get the outside. So I know it's not that I have no money needed for this stuff. I'm just doing this practice because this is the way I would really like to do it. But 220 right away, I know it's kind of 134. All right, 1, 3, 4. The 220 right away is kind of scary when you're on a very small bankroll, because one roll can take you just about out. But that's why I'm doing like the hit, one hit. I want to do a one hit and regress all the way down to all the way across. That way from then on, I'm on the dealer side. All right, this 10 right here pays 18. So for $2 it pays 20. So for 2 it pays 20, and this is a collect roll. So I just collect my 20 this time. Mark the 4. I'm looking for you know, the hand to get kind of warm and me to hit all the numbers and make money off the ATS. That's what kind of the goal that I'll be trying to play for. Yeah, Arnell. I agree with Ace. If I had Arnell's money, I'd just throw mine away too. So we got a 268. This is an on axis primary hit. 268. It's 14. It's 12 out there. It pays 14. So for again, I got to drop the dealer 4. For $4, I tell him to press me all the way up. So it takes my 8 all the way to 30. And I hit the 8. Mark the 8 in the tracker. So now we can kind of look at the ATS. We need a 10. We need a 12. And we need some of the small numbers. But the majority of the numbers we need. Now that was a press. I never like to change the betting strategy after a press. I want to change a betting strategy after a collect. This is where I was talking about the one more hit earlier on there. After a collect roll is where if I'm going to change a strategy, that's where I'm going to change it, is after the collect roll, not after the press roll. All right, we got a 156. So we got our point made. Front line $10, and we got 30 on the back, so it pays 45. So it pays 50 for the nickel. All right, so there is the collect roll, and we hit our point. So we hit our point, and now let's look at the ATS. This is what we'd be watching. This is what I watch, the ATS, because there's certain times that I want to change dice sets so that I can try to get those other numbers, mainly the extremes. So what I'll do in this case, and you got to remember, all this money right here is profit, because my one hit got my money back into the bank roll. All this is profits. Now I can rack this and simply just shoot for numbers and not worry about doing anything else. Or really what I like to do, since I got this money in profits, this is profit money, what I like to do is play the iron cross method of betting. And you see I can cover it all right here out of profit money. I don't have to use any of my money. So I'm playing the iron cross for 25, 30, 30 with a $15 field, and I'm going to do a $20 horn. Plus I'm going to get to keep, I'm going to get profit $35 more in my rack. I'm changing dice sets here because I want to go now for extremes. I'm using the 6-4, 6-5. I'm on the come out. But since I'm playing this iron cross, I'm working it. I'm working all the bets. So I'm going to tell them I'm working. You know, I'm working my iron cross money because I'm trying to supply the horn money with this dice set. With this dice set, there's a 2-2. There's a 4. So with this dice set, I'm looking to hit horn money. That was an off-axis hit. All right, so I hit a 4. I lost my $20 horn, but it pays $15 in the field, so I drop the dealer a nickel and tell him to re-up my horn money. So my horn's back up. My iron cross is just working to supply my horn money. That's all my iron cross is doing. It's not going to make money. I mean, I could press them. I could press the iron cross money if I hit horn numbers. But mainly this betting strategy is only for the horn numbers. And I'm trying to use I'm using the cross sixes, so I'm hoping to hit primary like 6-6 and ace-ace. And there's a 5-5, there's a hard 10, so again, one of the dice is off axis. But again, it pays 15 in the field. I drop the dealer another nickel to re-up my $20 horn, and I keep moving because now all I need is a 12. So 6-4, 6-5. All I need is a 12 for a tall, and I still need the 2 and 3 out of this dice set. So if I can get primary and get this 12, that $5 horn's going, that $20 horn's going to pay real good. Couldn't do it. There's 6-1. There's 1-6-7. So see, 1-6-7. This is an on-axis hit. It is a double pitch for this dice set. So the money that we just lost, bar those two numbers that we lost $5 extra on because we only hit numbers that wasn't paying for the horn, it was paying most of it. We still made money. We made money overall for this shooter, but this is a single. That's a double pitch. Most any double pitch number is going to be a 7. It's just the way it works out. So we needed a 12. How many times did we see me shooting and I needed 12 to complete a tall? Several. I do this a lot. Alright, so I hit the 7. My SOR went back down to 8.3, but my SRR come up a little. From the very initial come out rows that I started this shooter on, I had a 11 on the come out, then I had 1, 2, 3, 4 come out 7s. 4 come out 7s from the very first 5 shots. I had a come out yo, and then 4 come out 7s, and then that followed by another yo. So the first 6 shots, 2 of them were yos, 4 of them were 7s. That pushed my SRR way down. You know, this shooter didn't lose money. I'm going to go ahead. Now, overall, I lost a little money right here because of that 220 that got knocked off earlier when I was working, whenever I couldn't get an inside hit, and I lost the 220. So I did lose some money there. All right, so let's go right here. $10 pass line, $25 ATS. We got 220 working. 220 up, and we'll go off. We'll go 220 up and off for this shooter. Dice her out. 3-6-9. This is an on-axis single pitch, 3-6. I said not working, so it doesn't pay anything. But I'm going to put the money in odds instead of on the pass line. Yeah, it's usually hard, but if I'm getting on axis quite consistent, I can hit them 12s and aces pretty good if I'm on axis. And generally, if I've hit enough numbers to move over to the cross 6s, then, you know, I've made enough money to where if it'll do like it did a while ago. Even if I don't hit it, I didn't really lose nothing. So yeah, them seems to be my hardest numbers to get generally. It's the 12s and the aces. All right, we got a 1-2 crouch 3. We got a crouch 3. That is a drill. Both dice are off axis. AC doozy. Now, if we hit a 2-1-3, it'd be a different story, but that's a 1-2-3. So 3-2, 3. Dice her out. 3-2-5. Let right dice explode it again. 5's got 50 on it. So you see how many shots it took. It took me an extra shot because I hit a crouch number, an off-axis number. So if I hit an off-axis number, I'm generally going to miss. I'm generally going to have to leave my 220 up for a second round. So now that I hit the 5, I get to regress my whole 220 off the board. So basically, I am no longer at a risk for this year. This money is back in the rack, the 220. I'm going to use this $70 to put 64 across. So I'm going to put 64 across, and I'm going to have $10 extra dollars, or $6 extra dollars. I'm going to have $6 extra dollars once I put my 64 across. Alright, so there's the $70 for that one shot that I made profit off of. The one shot with the 220, and we can do this with higher increments. This time I'm just going to take the whole 16 and I'm going to put it in odds. 3 for 3 on Raise These Channels, just about to go to finals on Sunday. Okay, cool. Wish you luck over there, Ace. Hope you can make it. Hope you win it all. 3236. I used all the money that was off of that $170 and I spread it all the way across. So the $70 is out there. I'm doing a press and collect type row. This next row will be a collect row. And we can't collect anything. We hit a 2-5, we hit a 5-2-7. So this sucks. You know, we're pressing our SOR all the way down on top of, you know, losing the $10 front line and a $25 ATS. But this is part of it. This is why I keep practicing, because I want to figure out what it is to make, what maneuvers to make, what tweaks to make to combat this. So we're steadily pressing our SOR down. We didn't hurt our 220. We hurt our pass line money and our ATS money, but that's money that you are going to have to put up every time anyway. So let's cut that on. Let's put the ATS money back up. We got the pass line back up. We got our 220 up. I'm going for it. I'm going to work it. Appreciate it, Ace. So I'm going to keep this up. 3236. I'm going to put the 220 up. I'm going to try to figure out what am I doing on my grill, because I'm getting something wrong here. Let me see if I can get this worked out. $314. So we have the 220 working. We hit it on axis, but it's a single pitch, and we have no money working on the 4. So our 220 has to work for a second roll. You know, so maybe not be the worst idea to incorporate some outside money working, because I like to try to start out with the inside and work my way toward the outside. Let me slow down just a little. That might be my problem. $145, left dice implosion. 1-4, but we got our $70 winner. I'm gonna pay it. We know $70 off the $50, so I can go ahead and put these in the rack. So I get the 220 back in the rack. I go ahead and put the 70 out here, or the 64 across, and I got $6 in change. I know that much. There's the $6 in change. There's the $70. I'm going to put the whole $16 on the odds on the 4. So let's see what happens. 3236. Let me slow down just a little bit. Dice are out. One, 2, 3. AC doocy. So we hit up 3 craps. That helps ATS numbers, but that's not helping us on I mean, we're on dealer's money now, so, you know, we do need a hit. We do need a hit so we can collect, just because we have our ATS money and our pass line up. So we do need a collect to get that money kind of back in the rack. $145. So we hit a 5. It pays 14. So we want to collect that first 14. That gets your pass line money back in your rack. That gets your pass line money back in your rack, so that you're not just like, when the 7 comes, you're not like steadily losing like I did earlier. I was losing on the ATS and I was losing on the pass line. I wasn't losing no money on the place bets because they covered themselves. They come right off the table with that 1 or 2 exposure. That's right. 6-5 yo. 6-5 yo is both axes. That's a drift. So both dice are off axis. That's our first number on the tall side. 3236. That's right. 2-1-3. Now this is a difference than the 1-2-3. 2-1-3 is an on axis double pitch. So that's an on axis shot there. 3-2-3-6 on the set. It's taking a lot of shots to even collect. Well, we done collected, so the next shot would actually be a press shot. And there's a 5-4-9, so this is an on axis single pitch, 5-4-9. It pays 14, so we drop the dealer $1, and we tell him to press it all the way up. So it takes that 9 all the way to 30 for our $1 that we dropped, and the $1 we dropped is really still in the profit. We mark the 9. We're still trying to get our ATS numbers. That's right. And that's it. Right dice exploded. So we can't get past this. It's just gonna be what it is. But we're gonna insert that 7. It took our SOR back still around the 8.7. We was at 8.9. But overall, let's see where we at. So we probably lost some money. All this just lost, but it didn't lose any money as far as the shooter's concerned, other than probably the ATS money. The ATS probably lost money. But the shooter for the 220, that was not a loss there. So overall, there's 500, 600, 700. There's 800 right there. So we're down close to 200. We're down about 185. So yeah, you know, so we lost a little, but we had at least 2 or 3 from the start, or at least 2 or 3 shots through there where the 220 was getting knocked off like back to back. So the 220 didn't make it through the one shot. It made it through there, but we hit an off-axis shot, and the next row we had to do like 1 220. We had to go for like 3 rows, and it got knocked off. But if you can get on axis and you can get that 1 row, you're going to have that 220 is going to go back to your rack. Now, here's my $1,000 starting back row for the next session I give, but I'm not going to play it no more tonight. I'm going to actually end the video right there. I'm going to work on getting my stream a little better because I've dropped lots of frames and I'm going to call it an evening right there. Well, before I go, let's look over at the gauge. Let's look over at the stats. So the stats did not refresh. What is up with that? I don't know what's up with the stats. Let me do something right here. There was something going on with there was something going on right from the very start with my sheets. So from the very start, I was having to refresh a bunch of stuff, and I thought I had it right. Okay, now I've got it, but something else is still going wrong. I don't know what's happened to the color in here. So something happened with the color. I don't know exactly what went on there, or whatever's going on with the color now. So something weird's happening right here. I didn't change anything. I don't know exactly what went on. I did use a different KPI because my stuff wasn't coming in. So when I use a different KPI, for some reason it looks like it changed my color. Let me go over here and see what's happening right here. Hang on just a minute if you want to. If not, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow, but I am going to give it a quick look and see if I can. I mean, I did change the KPI. I wasn't like I was intentionally trying to change KPI, but for some reason it changed it, and I wasn't trying to change it. That's all I'm saying. So let me go right here. That helped some. It got it from red, though it got it to orange. So there's something a little weird right there going on. I'd rather it be orange than red. I mean orange than dark. That's something I'm going to have to figure out what's happening right there, because I don't really know. I don't really know why it changed, basically. But anyway, it changed. For some reason, I had to go in the KPIs and change some stuff. My KPI update, my sheets, it was gone. So when I went back in and got a new sheet, I had to see, like even my gauges, even the gauges are even the gauges. See, even the gauges are messed up. So I don't know what happened, but whenever I left, they're still. But what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to find the sheet that I was using, because whatever sheet I was using disappeared. And I thought I was on the October sheet, but apparently I must have been on a September sheet. And when I put the October sheet in this time, nothing updated. And I'm having to go in here and manually update every single one. So there it is. I got those updated now. And I've got everything working off the October sheet, I guess. Yeah, I got everything working off the October sheet now. So now we can look at the gauges. So inside and outside hits was terribly low. SOR is 8.7. That's below the green, so that's a low too. The 4s and 10s was really too high. I had 7 10s and 8 4s. That's really, really too high. So I'm going to have to do some... Yep, and that's what I was saying at the beginning. At the very beginning of my rows, when I first started, the very first row was a yoke. The next 4 rows after that row was 7s on the come out. So I had 4 7 come outs on the first 5 rows. And then on down there somewhere else, I had 2 more come out 7s. So yeah, so I had a lot of 7 outs. That's why that SOR is mighty low. SOR is at 8.7 out of 78 rows. But I did hit a lot of numbers. I was actually doing pretty good on betting until the 220, when I had to leave my money up for like 3 rows. That 220 got knocked off, and I did that like twice. And altogether, I was only down like less than 200, like 185. So my total back row was like 816 bucks right now, and I started with 1,000. So I didn't lose a lot of money, but my SOR and all those 7 outs, you know, those 220 knockoffs is really what hurt me. But you know, that's what we do it for, is practice and to get better at it. Don't understand why my stats are like they are, as far as why I had to update everything, why I had to change colors and all that, but that's all into that worksheet. I had to put all new not formulas, but I had to put the new path in there for the browser to find. But anyway, it's all good. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Ace, good to hear from you. Hadn't seen you in a long time, man. I'm glad you're okay. Arnell, good to see you guys. But on that note, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go over to the I'm going to edit this video, and I'm going to call it the continued part. This is part 2 of this is the continued. This was of Thursday's practice. Let's put it like that: continuance of Thursday's practice. Alright, so I'm going to save it like that and just let it be right there like that. Arnell, if you're still there, or if you're not, I'm going to go ahead and tag you in it. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that link, even though it's still processing. I'm going to go copy it and put it on your Skype. That way, on your Skype, that way you can check it out. You can see what we're talking about the single pitch, double pitch, and all that. But on that note, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Chili from O-Town, and Dice are out.